Hi guys, so this is the bonus for the day. It's the no contact. Will they be back? Will there be a reconciliation? How do they feel about you right now? I thought it was kind of appropriate considering we are in 2 retrogrades and a lot of people from the past are popping up. It doesn't have to be romantic. I love saying that. And if you're looking to get a private reading with me, I do link my email in the description box. For those of you that have been wondering if I'm going to go live again, I will try to go live once a week from now on. I do want to try a weekend live just to see if I could get, reach more people. But today just didn't end up really panning out for me. Lulu's off getting a new car. My Sag is with her. Nobody's really home other than Odin, and I can't like do lives alone without having a panic attack. So, so I'll try to do it tomorrow. Okay, I'll try to get on tomorrow. For Aries, no contact. How do they feel about you right now, Aries? The person you're in no contact with. No, I want to use a different deck. They're feeling crushed, I can tell you right now, but I want to use a different deck. Yeah, there we go. For Aries, how do they feel about you right now, Aries? Person you're in no contact with. Very emotional. Very, very emotional. They're having a hard time taking care of themselves at this time. They could be looking at pictures of you and or you're on their mind pretty consistently. Sorry. All right, so if this was any sort of like relationship, they're trying to look for somebody who looks like you or acts like you, or they're trying to replicate you somewhere. If this was not a relationship, and this is just a family member or a friend or something of that nature, they are, every time they meet somebody or talk to somebody, any qualities that you have that this person has, that's what they're thinking of the whole time. Like, oh my gosh, that's the same way that Aries used to chew, something stupid like that. They still think you're their wish fulfillment. Is there any chance of a reconciliation here for Aries in this person who's in no contact? Honestly, no. It looks like you've moved on from this, or they have, or they will, I should say. They're not going to contact you. They're afraid of rejection. It looks like you're not contacting them. I think you're already over this, but if you're like, no, I still have this person on my mind, one of you is going to get over it soon. Maybe at the end of retrograde, it'll be done and over with. I just don't really see this amounting to anything. Lots of hurt feelings. Lots of hurt feelings. Anything else? Give it some time. Give it some time. Not only do I, again, if you are single and looking, you will be meeting somebody very soon. Soulmate energy. But also you are going to find out something about this person that's going to upset you in the future anyway, like through a friend, through the grapevine, something of that nature, something you did not know about this person, like they punch puppies or something like that. So be aware. So even if you miss them, you won't. Eventually you will not. For Taurus, for the person, no contact. How do they feel about you right now? That came up quickly. They're having a very hard time. They're judging you. They're blaming you for all this. They're judging you. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. They're like, this is all Taurus's problem. They miss how you treat them, but it looks like they were breadcrumbing. Okay, didn't have to be a romantic situation, but they missed how you took care of them or how you treated them. This person's very selfish, like incredibly selfish. They were after something. I think like they could be after finances, or they were after like your energy, the vampire, energy vampire kind of thing. I don't really like who this person is. Is there a chance of reconciliation for Taurus and person they're no longer in contact with? It says protect your energy. They will be back. You guys could have a fling again, but it doesn't look like it's going to last. Okay, if this is somebody that you're not intimate with, they could have the guts to come back, but it's not going to last. It's not going to last. somebody on your side or their side doesn't want the two of you to reconcile regardless. Okay, so you could have a little bird in your ear, or they could, but I don't see this turning into anything other than like potentially an argument. I do see you, however, getting together with a new person that will become your 10 of Cups. They're pulling with heavy water placements, so just keep that in mind. For Gemini, no contact. What does that look like? How do they feel about Gemini right now? For Gemini, no contact. What are their feelings right now? Very defensive. They think you've become a burden. They do not plan on having any contact with you, especially if this is somebody that you used to work with and or looks like work with. Regardless, this person has no intentions of contacting you whatsoever. They think you owe them something, as a matter of fact. Is there any chance of reconciliation with this person? Is there any chance of reconciliation with this person for Gemini? You might hear from them, or they may hear from you when you guys are drunk. Okay? But somebody's going to move. One of you is going to move. So that's going to play a factor, you know, even if you guys wanted to heal this, let's say 6 months from now, a move is going to be a part of the problem. And it does look like one of you are going to get in like a very serious commitment with somebody, and that person's not going to want you to reconcile with anybody, regardless if it's family, friend, or lover, okay? So it really wouldn't work out anyway, Gemini. It really wouldn't. Whatever rifts you guys had, they would continue, because there's no actual forgiveness here, okay? There's not, it's like you could miss them or they could miss you, but there's still like that grudge that's being held, okay? So keep that in mind. Gemini, Cancer. All right, Cancer. No contact. What does that look like? How do they feel about you currently? For Cancer. They're still thinking about you. They feel like you did something behind their back. They're feeling very confrontational. You may have done something behind their back, or they did to you. They still think you're the one that got away, though. Would they like you to reach out? Yes. They would. What's the chance of a reconciliation for Cancer? Doesn't have to be romantic, guys. What's the chance of a reconciliation for Cancer? Is this like a stupid reading? For some reason, I'm like, maybe this is a dumb reading, you know? I don't know. Reconciliation for Cancer. The number 4 will be relevant. No. No. Cancer, here's the problem. You guys don't see eye to eye. Like, whatever kind of relationship you had, you guys are not seeing it like on the same level. Does that make sense? So whether it was romantic or otherwise, maybe you thought it was more than what it was. Maybe they thought it was more than what it was. Maybe you wanted marriage and they didn't. Maybe they wanted to open a business with you and you didn't like the business idea. Regardless, it's going to be the same, okay? For some Cancers out there, you will be getting married. Your next partner you will be getting married to, okay? Looks like a fire sign. Who am I on? No contact for Leo. No contact for Leo. What does that look like? How do they feel about Leo currently? Somebody's doing art as therapy. If this was somebody you were connected with romantically, they've already moved on. If this is somebody that you were just like really close friends with, family member, they're investing emotionally and otherwise in somebody else and not thinking about you whatsoever. Is there any chance of reconciliation here for Leo? No, as I've said, they've already moved on. If you give it a minute, you could be meeting somebody new. Somebody you pass up at first. Somebody you don't take seriously. Okay, moving on to Virgo. Moving on to Virgo, no contact. What does that look like? Moving on to no contact for Virgo. How do they feel? Very similar to Leo. They have already moved on. They've already moved on more than once. If this was romantic, if this was not romantic and this was like let's say it was a business partnership, they already had the idea to start another business with somebody else before you guys even went into no contact. This person already had like a whole idea, okay? They already had plans. They already were motivated previously to you guys having no contact, regardless of what the relationship status was, okay? Is there a chance of reconciliation? Is there a chance of reconciliation? They think you owe them something financially, by the way. All right, so if this was romantic, they are getting someone pregnant or they're getting pregnant themselves, so I don't think you should reconcile. If that's not the case and you're like, no, they're like 80 years old, then they're playing the field. They're playing the field. And that, again, could be a friend that's just talking a lot of shit. It could be a family member who's, you know, burning bridges all over the place. A business partner who's all over the map, who's just going to end up burning themselves out. Regardless, I see more money coming to you, and that was just random. That's just random. It has nothing to do with relationship. You're probably going to put more focus on money. Maybe that's why. Okay, moving on to Libra. No contact for Libra. No contact for Libra. How does the person feel right now, currently? Very emotional. They feel like you rejected them. They could be moving and or on a trip. They still have passion for you. Again, they feel rejected by you. It doesn't matter if you didn't do the rejection or whatever. That's how they feel. Could be a family member, could be a lover. It doesn't matter. They feel like you wronged them, okay? And they feel like you purposely did it, Libra. And I don't know any Libras that are intentionally vicious. So this person could be a little delusional. They're trying to stay optimistic and they could be spying on you. Is there a chance of reconciliation for Libra and this person? Is there a chance of reconciliation? I wouldn't do it. They've become a very heavy burden. I feel like they're mentally unstable, Libra. I do. Hold on. If you choose to reconcile, so there's a possibility. If you choose to reconcile with this person, be aware that I think they're mentally unstable, okay? If you choose not to reconcile with this person, it looks like you could meet someone new in the future. It's going to be a while. It's when your finances stabilize a little bit. Yeah. Could even be in the workplace. Looks like they have Scorpio placements. Okay, moving on to who's after Libra. Scorpio. Oh, that's weird. I just said that. Scorpio. No contact. How do they feel about you currently? I'm seeing the word Disney. They think this has become a very big burden. They're looking at other options and opportunities. It doesn't have to be romantic, okay, guys? But nope, they're moving on. They don't even think about you that much anymore, okay? They pretty much shook this off pretty quickly. Any chance of a reconciliation for Scorpio? Nope, not a chance. Not a chance. Anything else Scorpio needs to know? You have a wish fulfillment for some sort of like emotional happiness or investment. Be careful. The next person you get involved with could be like they're pulling as the devil, could be an addict, either obsessed with you or just toxic in general. So be careful. For Sagittarius, no contact. How does that person feel about you currently? Does not have to be romantic. No contact for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, they are missing you. They're trying to stay optimistic. I think that there's some sort of karmic tie between the two of you, and if you were to reach out, they may be cool with it, okay? It'll be a hard conversation, but if you worked at it, you guys would be cool. Could be some friction, but you guys could be cool. What about reconciliation? What does reconciliation look like? I'm seeing The Dark Crystal. I loved that movie. It made no sense, but I loved that movie. Could lead to heartbreak. Could lead to heartbreak. You guys just, as close as you are and as much as you guys care about each other, it's just, don't see eye to eye on whatever the subject is. You just don't. Okay? Unfortunately, you just don't. Somebody could end up in a partnership, else you or them. Somebody else could end in, again, could be a business partnership, could be another partnership, but it's going to end in heartbreak. It says protect your energy. Okay, moving on to Capricorn. No contact. How do they currently feel about you, Capricorn? They're working on the guts to come forward and say something to you, whether that's an apology and or just hey, let's drop this burden and work on this, okay? They have lots of opportunities and lots of options here that they want to bring up to you, like, hey, this is how we could fix this. What's the outcome? What's a reconciliation look like for Capricorn? If it's somebody from the past that you were intimate with, you guys could jump back into bed and that would go horribly wrong. If this is somebody that is just a family member, friend, or whatever, you guys get really excited to see each other again or to talk or to try to fix this, and it doesn't end up panning out. Okay? There's just too much friction there, unfortunately. And it does look like you might be taking a vacation soon. Yeah, you're moving forward. You're feeling good soon. You're feeling good about this soon. Moving on to Aquarius. No contact. How does this person feel about you? No contact. How does this, whoa, I'm going to put those. They're feeling really left behind. They're looking at other things they could preoccupy themselves with. They think you become a very heavy burden. They want to move forward. They're feeling a little bit stuck. They may owe you something, whether that's financially or otherwise. They may owe you something, like they have your hoodie or something, you know what I mean? They could be having a hard time at work as well. Is there any chance of a reconciliation? Is there any chance of reconciliation for Aquarius? Aquarius, there's a chance of a reconciliation, but ultimately I think, okay, if this is a family member, you guys could reconcile, but like, hey, you do you, you know, it's over. The beef is over, but we don't need to like spend every day together anymore. If this was a relationship, you guys could attempt to fix it several times, not once, not twice, but several times. Do you really want that roller coaster ride? You know what I'm saying? If this was a business partnership, I would say you guys need to buy each other out, because there's care, there's concern, there's not enough here there's not enough synastry. We'll use the word synastry. It's not enough synastry to make this work, okay? For Pisces, no contact. For Pisces, no contact. How do they feel about you? Pisces, they think about you. They could be traveling and or at a distance. They're feeling like you wronged them, whether you did or not. They're feeling like you wronged them. They feel like you were hiding things from them. They could be isolating and spending some time alone. If this is somebody you were in a relationship with, they miss like your looks, they miss your personality. If this is somebody that was like a family member or, you know, co-worker, they miss like what you used to do for them, okay? Is there a chance of a reconciliation? They blame you, by the way. I just want you to know that they blame you. Is there any chance for reconciliation? If you were to reconcile with this person, it'll just lead to more fighting and more bullshit. They're very greedy on top of it. They're very greedy, whether that's being greedy on your energy or you financially. I don't love it. I don't. I would invest in yourself at this time. This is what it would lead to. I would invest in yourself at this time, okay? Yeah, lots of hostility here. You don't need that kind of shit. Okay. Alrighty. So I didn't love this reading, guys. You can let me know what you think. I might do some... I might pick a sign and do some sort of big bonus as well today, but we'll see. I want to play in the garden too, so